All right, welcome to episode 3 of the DCUO Project Podcast. I'm your host, Count Chocula, and I am joined again this week by my co-host, Glenn, the Alpha Tester. We also have the Contract Killer League in the house. We got Ninja Smurf, a new guy joining us. He's also part of the Contract Killers. We got Jay, Pyro Jester. We've got Kaiser, Night Siege. And we're also joined again by Lifted Research Group healer, Crappy Heals. Welcome to the show again, guys.
What's going on?
How you guys doing?
What's going on?
We're on episode 3. So far, we've had some pretty good feedback. People seem to be liking the show, so we're going to keep going. And this week, we are talking about the webcast, that the Meet the Council webcast that Yins and Meps put out. What we all think about that? Everybody here watched that, right?
Batman's overpowered.
I was digging the videos at the beginning of it.
Yeah, a lot of people were surprised about that video. They were like, I haven't seen that before. They put that out, I believe. They put the second part.
The Fracture trailer?
That was
everybody was like, this is new. And it's like, no, that's like a year and a half old. Yeah,
that was during Fortress 1, I believe.
Yep, that was when Fortress was coming out.
Yeah. Because, I mean, it was obvious. You see the Lex and Fracture inside the Fortress, and you see those, the Brainiac sentries breaking in. So, yeah, I guess a lot of people never paid attention and didn't see that, so.
And the first half of that video was all when they were doing that was when you created your character. That's right before you created your new character. Right. It shows it every time you do it.
That's right. So, yeah, everyone should be familiar with that.
Oh, I never even watched that.
Yeah.
I just skipped it.
Everyone's saying, man, if they make a Justice League movie, I know I'm getting off the subject a little. If they make a Justice League movie, why don't they make it like that? That would be cool. Make a whole hour-and-a-half movie of fighting like that, instead of like live actors. Just make it kind of like a CGI thing.
Yeah, that would probably be the better way of handling it. But they want to do the actors because it makes it, I don't know, look better maybe to people. But I always find CG looking better in the end.
Well, when it comes to that,
a lot more with it.
Yeah, the way they did it, because I mean that's pretty high quality cinematic. I like that. With the Green Lantern battle against Black Adam and all that. That's pretty cool.
I thought it was weird that they showed that and then they showed the two, and everybody was expecting like a new FMV to come out like right after the second one, and I was like, nope.
Right.
Jens comes on with I couldn't remember that other developer's name, and they were just like,
I think it's Nerds of Prey or something like that. Their name CJ, I think their name is CJ Mueller or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
They were just like
beginning of that entire thing though.
SJ.
I like how the beginning of the thing though, they didn't even have the voice thing on. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have Meps here.
Yeah, he was having a little technical difficulty there. Because everybody was like, we don't have any sound. It was kind of funny. He just kept talking for about 20, 30 seconds.
No, it was like a good 2 minutes before he realized.
Yeah.
Oops.
Well, a lot of people were thinking it was lame. I wasn't expecting much. It's they weren't. I knew they were gonna talk about maybe when they were gonna tease the quantum power. I guess next Tuesday.
Yep.
Having another.
Yeah, Tuesday's gonna be it.
Yeah. Which reminds me, that may be the day they do the update. I'm hoping.
Yeah, I pinpoint Game Update 25 either being Tuesday or Thursday, because Friday Night Legends, they were pretty much saying, like, it's ready.
It's ready to go. Well, have you been on the test server lately?
I've been meaning to actually put out one more video, and that's going to be the extra briefing that you can see on there.
Oh, by the way, congratulations on getting your video up on the... I don't even know if you know this or not. Your video was up on the top 10 on the DC Universe YouTube page.
Yeah, it got featured.
Yeah, it got featured, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I didn't even notice it until I looked at it one day. It was, I don't know.
I was going to message you, but I...
Yeah, I think I just didn't know because they didn't have a, here's a look at these videos this week on their Facebook, so...
That was pretty cool because usually it's always Super Patriot, Trex, Orbit, Odyssey, Smile Before Death, maybe some other random person,
Yeah.
Obsidian Chill or something like that from Odyssey, but you were stuck right in the middle. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with them. So I thought it was pretty cool that they saw my video and they were like, well, this seemed pretty decent. So.
And congratulations to Jay for, putting up a, ganking of the replacements video. I like that as well. That was pretty cool. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
That's
We take pride in our work.
That should have been on the front page of YouTube.
Yeah, that should have been number one on the chart. Villains. Villains doing what we do.
I just wish the larger file didn't get corrupt. There
that was
a lot
a better
more.
one, dude. That was a better one, the larger file.
I wasn't there, but I know it was you three against the replacements. So
Pets and
or
all.
the B team. I'm sorry, the B team.
And also, I'd
Pets
just like
and
to
all.
say, he brought that on himself because it wouldn't have started if I hadn't been flying by, minding my own business, and he smacked me in the back. He started that.
Yeah, you were minding your own business.
And
Sure.
Super Patriot hits me, and I called back up. So, yeah, he started that one.
Oh no! Why'd we go there?
Yeah, I was gonna be like, we got way off topic of the webcast.
Oh, let's go back to the webcast.
Well, what do you think about the 5 Lexus and the 5 Batmans?
The Lexus need to be buffed.
And in terms of like,
except
content,
Professor,
yeah.
he was the strongest one. Professor Lex seemed like.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to say, well, what do you guys think about the concepts? Not about how good they were in the fights that they had. Those were AI versus AI, and the weapons don't normally match up pretty well.
I'm not.
You gotta remember that
NPC versus NPC. I liked them. I mean, my favorite Batman was definitely the Gotham City Police Department Batman.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that he had a pistol and a shield at the same time.
Right.
I thought it was pretty cool.
I liked how they sat there and kept specifying that there were rubber bullets coming out of that.
Yeah, because they were like, well, we're not going to like take away from Batman's character. He's not going to kill people, he's going to subdue them rather.
Yeah, I think it's mainly that one and the steam powered that a lot of people liked.
Yeah, steam powered one had looked cool since the very first screenshot.
I don't really
like
like
the
the
Future
mask.
Bat.
I didn't
I don't
like
know.
the face mask.
Yeah, his face mask is weird, but Future Batman, I still liked how they kept with how he looked. Because that was the same one they used in the beta.
Yeah, and during that cinematic, he's really beat up. He's like,
I just like the way he looks. I don't know.
Yeah.
They
I like
also
to wear that armor.
They also did they also showed what was it how beat up the they called him the brutal Batman.
Primal
Like,
Batman.
Primal. Yeah. He's got like the painted on bat signal or bat symbol.
The emblem.
Yeah, the emblem on his chest. I think it's pretty cool. But I thought he was the weakest one, actually.
Yeah, he needs a buff.
Yeah, but he has all the. It was cool how they showed the detail of him, like how he's got the cuts and the wounds. And stuff.
The scars and all that stuff. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I hate that stance that they got on him. Huh?
They got the primal. They have the primal stance on him.
It makes
basically
sense.
nature. He's basically like a nature character. I mean, he's got the roar, So I don't know. I didn't see much of it, but
yeah.
Well, you see, that's going to be the difference. Like, he looked like the weakest one, but it really depends because the bosses are probably immune to a lot of control effects. Now, if he, against players, if he kind of acts like Black Canary where he can pull you all over the board or something, he might be one of the more annoying ones.
Yeah, who knows against players how
it's
going to be, how hard they hit. Or if they enrage, do they have enrage timers or something like that?
I hope not.
I do. I love it when they go crazy.
Oh, great.
That's when the fun happens. Like when Swamp Thing starts to go nuts, I love it.
That's when the fun happens, yeah. I thought one thing I liked about the Luthors is when he calls the strike down, they have the little L's on the ground, like targets, like the little Luthor
his Legends character can do.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I liked how they did all the Luthors too. Like those were actually pretty interesting. I liked how they did the Cyborg Luthor.
Yeah, Cybernetic Luthor was awesome.
Yeah, I think Star Trooper Luthor was my favorite. But he seemed so.
He seemed like
So
Buzz Lightyear,
weak.
dude. He seemed more like a Buzz Lightyear character.
Yeah, which
Well,
is why I liked it.
I have a theory on Space Commander Luther. You know, they're not trying to show quantum yet, but they kind of hinted that
He's got
his power is quantum. I'm not so sure that was all he can do. They might have just turned off certain moves he couldn't use because they don't want to unveil any quantum yet. He might have only been fighting at like half power or something.
Well, he said he got his like powers from like a cosmic. He hinted toward the Fantastic Four, like in a spaceship, cosmic rays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bombarded the ship, and
He sounded more like a Doctor Doom.
yeah, something like that.
I just think they might have been holding him back, like fight-wise, trying not to unveil quantum moves because they kind of keep hinting that he has quantum-like powers.
Yeah.
Maybe they just didn't want to show him, and they kept trying to go around the corner to show us
Yeah.
more of the raid or the because what is that the temporal maelstrom or paradox maelstrom?
Wave.
Yeah. Well, the name on the bottom of the screen said maelstrom or something.
Nexus.
Yeah, Reality Nexus is one of the raids. I know that. Yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Tuesday. I hope they show like all of the, they take the time, show all the powers in detail.
I wonder what the power interactions for Quantum are going to be called.
That's a
Well,
good question.
they could be using Days again and Crush.
That'd be
Right.
dumb.
Yeah, like I said,
I could understand Crushed for gravity, but there has to be something for time. Maybe like
Dazed? Is that what you said earlier?
Yeah.
Dazed for
No.
time would make sense.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
Maybe
it would make sense, dude. I'm
maybe
just saying.
crushed and slowed, maybe like
Yeah, I would think something that has to deal with time.
something movement.
Yeah, but you also got to remember that normally the controllers have the most like variable control effects going through them. Look at gadgets; it has fire, it has frostbite, it has electric.
Electrify. Yeah.
Yeah, it has all those in there. So does mental.
Yeah. Let's.
Kind of. Mental has
But
like
not hard
maybe
light.
2 abilities that's able to do something other than fear.
Well, there's pyrokinesis, there's cryonesis, which is frostbite. There's electronesis, which does electricity, and then you have
Psychic
the
shock,
crushing
you mean.
effects, which is
Psychic shock.
all the encasements do crush effect now.
I just hope some of the quantum are original. I hope they're just not kind of like rehashed. Like during the teaser we were talking that's just mass levitation. That's basically what it looked like during that little teaser.
Yeah, a little bit, but
Right.
I doubt they'll like recycle powers.
Yeah, I hope they come out with something like
Never
that really stands out. A few powers that just really stand out that are different, unique.
Yeah, I wonder what their supercharge is going to be like.
We're like, well, I wonder what this. I wonder. Just go ahead and give it to us now.
I mean,
Well,
that's
tomorrow.
good. DC is definitely one of those games that knows how to freaking hype up crap. So
Oh,
See, I
for
think
sure.
they should release it early to the YouTube channel guys. The people that have YouTube channels should get it early. And we can play it and go ahead and make videos of it.
Oh, they're not going to do that.
Every
Come on
family would
now.
have a
I'm
YouTube
kidding,
channel.
Kaiser.
then.
Obviously,
It's not a bad idea, though.
not
Oh,
a bad idea
I
at all.
love that idea.
Well, the only problem with that is they won't give the PS3 a test server to start with, so just don't even think about that idea anymore.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I kind of wish I would have started playing on the PC, but I don't know. I like the PS3 though. There's like more. Seems like there's more drama on the PS3. It's kind of more fun.
Right.
Yeah, drama makes everything better.
It does. It
Like
adds
no one on the
excitement.
PC, like you don't see anybody on the PC making videos like trash talking anybody, or I mean, if they maybe I haven't seen them, but I don't know. So anybody else have anything to say about the webcast?
I'd have to say, all in all, I'm pretty excited about it.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
super excited.
Yeah.
Finally, something new to
Yeah.
do.
I'm just going to say they do need to work a few more balance issues, like Jens and Mep said. But overall, it does look good.
Well, how do we know those are balances? Like I said,
Yeah, you don't
what
know
we're
yet.
watching is we're watching NPCs fight NPCs,
Right.
watching actual people playing these characters.
Yeah, you can't judge
Oh.
NPCs really.
Batman still kicked ass.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on their abilities. Like if you watch Steampunk Batman, he had that protective shield that went on everybody around him. Well, what did you see? Which I think only one Lex did that, and that was only to himself, and that was the cybernetic Lex.
Right.
So checks and balances here. Some of these are going to be easier than other fights. Some of them are going to be different because it's not going to be a Lex and a Batman in there. It's going to be, let's say if you're playing villains, it's going to be you versus a Batman. And then if you're playing heroes, you're going to be playing against Lex.
Yep.
Well, they're saying they have like all sorts of different storylines. Like it can change during the raid. I mean, they were kind of hinting like the time balance can change. For the whatever's going on, like during the raid or something. Maybe I misunderstood. But...
And they also said something where, if you're a villain, you'll be fighting with the Lexes. If you're a hero, you'll be fighting with the Batman. So
exactly,
a hero with steam-powered Batman or something on their side, giving that team shields when we get to fight steam-powered Batman with Lex, who won't shield us, he'll just shield himself. That also kind of makes it a little easier.
Who knows how good it's going to work, though.
It's just they got to figure out a few more things, I think. Yeah. But they still got time.
I just want to move on maybe to Friday Night Legends. Did anybody watch that? Is that worth talking about? I don't know.
I watched a little bit of it.
That was Squad 11, right?
Yeah.
I didn't watch all of it, so
I watched bits and pieces.
I heard they had a 5-second preview of Quantum.
Right.
That's been out though. That was out before Friday Night Legends, I think. You had to have followed the Twitter to know about it though.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it until I watched Friday Night Legends, but it was really fast. Really fast little clip. And that's the mass levitation. I mean, basically he just he just put his hand in the air, two ads went up and stayed levitated for about 3 seconds, and they fell and took damage. So that's about it.
Colors look pretty cool. I'll give them that.
Yeah, they did.
Dark blue, purplish.
Yeah, I was digging the colors. And they put the guy in there fighting with hand blasters, so he looked extra stupid. I hate the way they make you look with hand blasters. The stance after you're done using your hand blasters, how you're bent over with your hands behind you.
Yeah.
So need to change that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could use a little work.
Yeah, they need to modify the character models a little bit.
Well, they need to start giving us more choices, especially with flight, dude. I mean, seriously, how many people want to sit there with their one hand up over their head and trying to fly like Superman?
Right.
I've been saying we need a new movement power.
I don't even care if they give us the same movement power, just reskinned.
Yeah, I wish they'd kind of remodel. I mean, I know they added some models over a year ago to the game. Didn't they add an in-between size?
Well, what they did with those is they had instead of being 3 different sizes, small, medium, large, you now have 3 different shapes of each one of those groups. So you'd have what they call a sprite, which is the smallest, and they have next size up and next size up, so on and so forth. There's 9 to each one.
Yeah, it's 9.
They should take the electricity off your feet for super speed.
I like that. Actually,
well, you're electric. You like that.
Yeah,
I'm nature.
Yeah,
maybe they could put some leaves coming off of me or something.
Leaves.
Oh yeah.
Because we all know leaves coming out of your feet greatly symbolizes super speed.
Well, when I run, it could look like, I don't know. It could
It's
look
nature.
like I'm leaves.
Or else
Or
you can make it look like
you
it's
the
wind.
option to turn that off.
Or they make it look like you have wind going behind you, so it looks like you're going faster or something.
Yeah, that'd be...
Nature, it's just moving fast.
And they could make you not stand like that. Like when you're an acrobat, you stand normal. You stand however your stance is. And then when you go, you're in the movement mode.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't. Different subject, but I just don't get it. I don't know. With super speed and hand blasters, you look like the biggest idiot.
What I hear is somebody's done this through experience.
I hate it. I have super speed and hand blasters too. I can't even look at myself. I have to stand there and block after I'm done shooting my hand blasters. And then my accomplice comes over next to me, and he is dressed like a fag. I don't know what they were thinking. They dressed him.
Well, by the way, I wish there was another thing they did, dude, because like they have all the base pets looking different for the henchmen. Why couldn't they have done that with the accomplices?
They could have gave the accomplice a better costume.
Yeah,
Like,
they just seem
what
really
the hell is he
ratty looking.
wearing? What's
Yeah.
that stuff on them? Like you're embarrassed to even have him next to you.
Yeah, nobody really wants to look like an accomplice. I mean,
Or at least give a few options, like, do you want this one? Just like you have with the henchman, like you said, there's the Deco, the Gothic. Give, like, 5 or 6 different accomplices that go with each base.
He looks like a Halloween kid. I don't know.
could have made him at least look like Titanic Trenton or something.
I wouldn't care if he was a Black Shadow.
Well, with time, hopefully, we'll see a little bit of a difference.
Yeah, I mean, we could speculate about new movement modes all night long. I mean, it's just kind of pointless. Just, we just don't know what direction they're, what they're capable of or what direction they're headed in toward,
That's why I don't really care about them going in like new movement modes. I just don't want to be looking like a Superman clone that's not a Superman clone because I have wings on my character.
Right.
I shouldn't be having my fist above my head.
Well,
It
just your arms down to your side, flying, like a bullet.
Because if you have your hand up in the air and you're flying with wings in supersonic mode, then your wings kind of go off center, literally on the character model. Like every single wing set will do that. It's always crooked by like a few degrees.
I really hate the stance they put in the. I don't know if you guys have seen or played the Injustice fighting game, but they have Black Adam. I know I talk about Black Adam a lot, but I really hated the way they did his model. With while he's fighting, he's got his arms crossed. I was just like, oh man.
Well, they were in that game. They were probably just trying to make him arrogant, but he wasn't really ever arrogant in any of the comics. He was more of a realist.
He's a bastard. I mean,
Yeah,
he's arrogant. Yeah, there's no doubt. But most villains are arrogant anyway. So
yeah, but in the comic book series, he was flipping back and forth with Isis because his true love and everything. When Isis was still alive, he was a good guy for there a little while.
Right. Well, yeah, he started off as a good guy, but it's the Black Adam hour.
Oh God!
All Black Adam, all the no. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
In terms of the Friday Night Legends thing, there wasn't really much to talk about.
Well, yeah, it was the same thing they did on the last Friday, the same thing they did on the Friday before.
I really like to see Hughes get mad when they're spamming league invites to him when he's trying to queue up. That was like the best part of the whole show. He's like, don't do that.
Basically showing that they need to lock those type of things.
Well, you'd think he'd be able to do that. I mean, when he's in his... Well, he was actually just on a regular character, though.
Yep.
Playing with him.
He should realize, given that reaction and just yelling at them, don't do that, it's just going to make them do it more.
Right.
And no offense to
That's just like an invitation.
No offense to Squad 11 guys, but wow, they're really bad at dueling. I thought I was bad. I was like, oh, geez.
I'm terrible at PvP. You don't catch me doing none of that.
Oh,
Well, of course, you leave the second the lair battle begins.
Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
God! If you're a troll, hell yeah, I'm out of there. I'm gone. I had a dude. I was kicking his ass two matches in a row. I literally I wiped the floor with him, and I'm terrible at PvP. And then he
No,
switched
you're
to
not.
troll role and kicked my ass the last 3 rounds. I was like, you son of a bitch. You shouldn't be able to switch roles once you're already in the layer battle.
Well, that's why you have to be really fast and make sure you continuously hit them so they can't switch roles.
Well, he switched it in between rounds.
I never had that problem. My pet always makes sure that stopped.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I don't
yeah,
know.
they need to nerf those damn pets.
What they need to do is
PvP.
not make base amenities res when you go into a lair battle.
That is true, too. I mean, I've seen that happen a bunch of times, dude. I've been in layer battles with, what was it?
The training dummy.
A gadget controller, dude, and he keeps running right back over to his training dummy and using the power battery. And so he has infinite power while I'm, limited to round by round. So if I don't kill him before then I'm dead.
Yeah, they'll
It's
get
not
that
a bad
fixed,
idea.
They'll get that fixed. And
And I also think, say there's a bunch of furniture around where you're fighting, and you hit a guy with like an AOE attack, like just from your weapon, say a tap hold, the damage seems like it's splitting. I see the damage hitting all the furniture. I don't know if it's splitting and not.
It does split. All damage splits now. That means that even if you're hitting the furniture, some of the things will have caps. Like if you do a tap hold with your one-handed move, that'll do will do split damage down to like 100, I think. But there's always a limit to how much split damage is.
You know, I feel like I'm just losing damage that I could be given to the target that I'm fighting, but I'm smashing this furniture and he's taking less damage because of it.
Yeah,
that just means you need to set up a base specifically for dueling. No furniture, no nothing, just open space. Let's go.
I'm just gonna fill all the areas of furniture in my base, every single slot, so you can't kill me.
Yeah. But then you have a 50-50 chance of getting your base if the other team uses the training dummy too. I mean, it's one of the biggest problems with doing layer battles right now. Is people keep using the training dummy.
It could be worse. I mean, it's good that they limit you to one of each amenity. Can you imagine someone with like 6 training dummies out? every room of the base
for amenities, so I could have all of my stuff in my house.
Well, that's
I would be that guy with the 6 training dummies, though.
Well, I guess they're going to add it with league halls coming, but that's a speculation. But that's what he said. They said they were only keeping it at 4 right now, so to leave some room to maneuver for when the DLC 8 comes out. So
well, it's that, and it's like if you had everything in your base, the Hall of Doom and the Watchtower would be freaking empty.
Right.
You gotta have some incentive to go back to the main center.
Well, but back to that point, I mean, you can just switch out the amenities for a different one if you want it.
That sucks, though. That's inconvenient.
Yeah,
the only thing
it is inconvenient.
The only thing they have in the Watchtower and Hall that we don't have in our bases at this point is a phase shifter. If we had that, no reason to leave.
I wonder if League Halls is going to have a phase shifter, like in your League Hall. That would be really cool.
I'd like a phase shifter amenity.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to go to the Hall of Doom anyway. Try opening your friends list in the Hall of Doom. It's terrible.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
How many times do you fall through the floor in the Hall of Doom?
All the time.
Why do you think I'm flying?
You hit start when you're in the Hall of Doom.
You still fly through stuff, though.
Oh, no doubt about it. I've flown through plenty of walls, dude. No doubt about it.
But I think the most interesting part of the Friday Night Legends is their announcement for the next week. The Odyssey PvE, the Odyssey League is for the European. Are they on PC?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. They're going to be on next week for PvE, so they're probably going to be doing like a 4-man prime or something.
You know what? Like, I feel that one is going to be the best.
Showing off.
They're probably going to be showing off PvE.
Yeah, they're doing PvE next week.
The way I feel about PvP is if you've seen, like, it's the same thing. You're just beating people up over and over. You know, it's the same thing. It's kind of boring to watch after a while, you know, but like something PvE based, you know, like everybody does things different.
Right,
you know,
exactly.
Not everything's the same.
Right, one league does one thing. And
PvP just kind of gets repetitive.
And Odyssey's really good. You know, they put out really good videos. You know.
Oh, so you know they're going to be doing something crazy.
Yeah, it'll be 4-man prime or something, you know. Something like that. That's what I'd imagine.
Something crazy.
Maybe they'll have...
To make all the kids go like, wow.
You know, it would be cool if they had a little preview mini instance of one of the new raids and put Odyssey in there. And that would be cool for like a like a DLC teaser. I know they can't do that because it's not even on the test server yet. So when do we think the new DLC is going to be on the test server? Any speculation on that?
2 weeks from now.
2 weeks?
About 2 weeks.
Because 2 weeks from now, it'll be May.
Yeah.
Maybe even at the end of this week.
No, I'm probably sure it's probably going to be about 3 weeks because they normally release the thing the second week of the month, don't they? The test server stuff. Then the third week is when they normally release out the DLC, isn't it?
You're thinking the third week of May it's coming out?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
I've seen them pump out content fast. Like Game Update
sometimes
23 and 24 was back to back.
Right. Sometimes
like 23 was on test server. A week later, it hit right. Live. Next week, Game Update 24 was on test server. Next week, hit live.
Yeah. but on average, they normally do the DLCs in the later half of the month. They normally do release it like either the 3rd or 4th week of the month.
I don't see them releasing it like late May. I see them releasing it like mid-May.
Yeah, I would think the second week would probably be.
Yeah, so like
they're
if
saying
not,
it's almost done.
Yeah,
You know,
if not,
saying that they're getting close. You know,
if
who knows?
not at
It might
the end
be
of this week.
It might be like May 5th or something. I doubt it, but they may.
I
have
doubt it'd be
test
super
for, like,
early
week.
May. I'm contradicting mid-May. So. But I mean, like, yeah, it's not unheard of DC to have like an update and then like right after you have like DLC come out.
Yeah, like right on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope. Well, anyway, I think that's about all we have to say about Friday Night Legends and the webcast. So I think this is a good time to take a short break. You are listening to the DCUO Project Podcast. We will be right back.
Launch sequence activated.
You're listening to the DCUO Project Podcast with your hosts, The Count, Glenn, Jay, and Kaiser. Subscribe to us on iTunes and like our Facebook page. Now, back to the show.
Oh, yeah, that feels good. That feels real good.
So we were going to kind of do a new segment on the show. Had a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but we've had quite a few people comment since Quantum is coming out. They're interested in controller role. And since there is a big lack of competent controllers out there, we do have our resident controller expert here, Kaiser, and everybody else can chime in too, and I'm sure they will with their opinions. But we were kind of going to do a new segment called Know Your Role, and we're going to start with controllers. So Kaiser, kind of take it away. Remember, this is more for like beginners.
Okay, when we're talking about controlling, you've got a few major rules. One, this is a misconception we've run into a lot. Always have a power over time move on your bar, even if you're the backup troller. There's going to be times when the primary goes down. Maybe he was picking someone up and took a one-shot. Maybe just something happened. He's on the other side of the room. There's going to be times when you're going to throw power anyway.
Or he disconnects.
Same thing. You have to be ready to pick up the slack.
Yep.
So you always want that. Also, even if you're the backup, don't be afraid to throw power over time. I mean, the other controller has it, but if there's a time where it ever drops for you, that could mean maybe line of sight was broken for you, and it could also mean one or two other people don't have it. He can always overwrite you back. But don't be afraid if you don't see the lightning bolt to throw that power.
Yeah, because I hate when we have these controllers at the beginning of the raid, and they're comparing vitalization stats, and then it's 45 seconds into the raid, and I haven't seen a lightning bolt yet. I'm like,
yeah. And now you're going to have everybody overriding everybody's power over time.
Right.
Well, before we go any further, the lightning bolt will appear under your name on the top.
Yeah.
The top left-hand corner. Of the screen.
Yeah, that's a good point. A lot of guys probably don't know to look for that. I mean, beginning players,
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's one of the key things. You got to make sure that you have that. If you're getting health, you'll get a heart under there. Increasing health or anything like that, or you're getting a heal over time, we'll put a heart under your name. If you get a shield right there, you have a shield type move on you that will prevent up to or anything like that. If you have a target on your thing, you're getting a damage buff. Yep. And if you have a lightning bolt, you have If you have a lightning bolt up there, that means you're getting power back.
To be honest, they don't have a tutorial in this game.
No,
they don't. Not for roles.
No, they don't tell you what any of that means.
They talked about doing a role tutorial back like Game Update 18 or something like that, but I think they put it back on the back burner.
It's back burnered.
Well, they do need one, dude, because like controllers are a major one that kind of gets missed out on a lot.
Well, I would have to think Kaiser's going to go over this, but controllers kind of have a complex role in this game.
Yes, they do.
Because not only are they supposed to be giving back power, but they're responsible for debuffs. They're responsible for crowd control.
Oh, don't say crowd control. Don't say that. No one will have any power.
No,
that's an easy misconception.
That should be the secondary controller usually.
Yeah.
That's what I
there's
like
three
to
different
do
types
as
of
a
controllers.
backup.
There's the pure blue bar controller. There's the debuff controller, and then there's the crowd control controller.
And then there's the DPS controller.
Yep.
The one who's pretending to be a controller.
Yeah, the one that's like a hardliner gadget who couldn't get his raids done as a DPS, so he throws on his like lower troller gear. It's like, I'm a troller, I'll run it.
All right, we're getting off topic anyway, so let's get back to that Kaiser.
All right. Also, you got to remember, it's not a scoreboard competition. Whoever has the power over time and is the primary is always going to have more power out than the other controller. So if you ever get into a group, don't pay them any mind or anything if they say your power out was only half. Whoever has pod is probably going to double your power.
That's how it should
So-
be. It should be double. If you have two good trolls, the power is
They will
always
double
really
you.
close
Right,
to
it should
double.
be exactly almost double.
Mhm.
You know.
And also, for giving power out, the power dump move, which would be psychic empowerment, defib, or recharge, though that's your best bet for clipping. A lot of weapons that you can clip moves, you can clip weapon combos as well as other moves to cut them short with that. But also, you want to have a general rule. Your priorities are pretty much the healers need to have power, the tanks have to have power, and then the DPSs. Not that they don't need power, but if your tank is full and your healer is full and you've got half power and the DPSers are constantly dumping their bar, don't be afraid to just hold back and do weapon combos with a defib every 2 or 3 combos to recharge your power. Your main goal is to make sure the primary roles in the raid have power, and you want to make, when you have the extra power, you give that extra push just to keep the DPSs going, but you need your roles to constantly have the full power.
Okay,
And you should make sure that you mention that when you're playing with two different controllers, that they both have the power dump move, and what you're doing is you're trying to play off of each other. So whenever
Yes.
you do a power dump move, he'll get a power dump move, he'll get the power back from it, and he'll power dump and do the same thing. And if you keep doing that, then you'll both overlap each other and start rebuilding your own power bars back.
Especially
Yeah.
way
with
that-
critical power healing, because
And
you're basically waiting on those.
Yeah. One of the things that you got to remember is that when you're doing a defib or recharge or a psychic empowerment, it's going to hit the 3 lowest people. So whoever has the lowest power.
Which should be the controller. The guy
Yes.
throwing power over time, most of the time, should be the lowest, have the lowest blue bar, right? I mean, not necessarily, but if he's really throwing it out there.
Well, it's either that or DPS. Like my
Yeah,
last
the
comment
DPS
wasn't.
always has the lowest power.
Well,
usually.
he's going to be one of the 3 to get that normally.
Yes.
Right.
But I was just saying with the DPS is like, if a DPS is spamming too much and they try and do constant empowerments to keep up, they run out of power, and then the healers will run out of power, and it can kind of snowball down to a bad situation. They should always do it in moderation, putting the healers and the tanks at priority, and keeping the DPS powered as much as they can without overexerting their own bar.
Okay,
yeah,
so
and then once both the trolls get in a good rhythm, throwing power
Yes.
back and forth, then usually they're the 2 lowest, so they're always getting their power back and
right.
forth.
That's what I meant earlier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
once they're in a good rhythm, that's how it happens. You got to keep that up though. You got to do it for a minute to get it going good.
So what's the timing? What's the timing on that, Kaiser? I mean, what's the, you know what I mean? Like, what's the count of the certain amount of seconds that you wait before you throw it again? Or you were talking
The
about
power?
getting like the double tick.
Well, the double tick occurs when you throw power over time. You count that first tick. When you get to the 4th tick, you count about 5 seconds, which would be for the final tick. And right at that moment, if you cast the power over time move, you'll get the last tick of that cycle and the first tick of the new cycle, which will count as a double tick.
And you're talking about the blue numbers, the blue
Yes.
ticks. Yeah.
That would be the power over time tick.
Right.
That's how you accomplish the double power.
Okay, now say I'm a gadget troller and I've got the highest vitalization in the raid.
Yeah.
Tell me a good loadout if you're the one that's going to be throwing power over time. What's a good loadout?
For me, it varies 2 different things if I want to throw some power interactions or not. My normal loadout would be sticky bomb for power, defib for power dump, Gauze Grenade for defense debuff, a personal shield, either Hard Light Shield to activate the Shielding Home Turf mod, or Distract if you don't have that, and a Power Dump Super like Word of Power. The 6, that's normally your 5 staples right there for gadgets. The 6th move is up to you. It can be a Suppressor Turret for crowd control. It could be my super loadout, which basically I run 2 supers. I'll run the Battle Drone and Word of Power with the Home Turf mod for Supercharge Extend. So I always have 2 Word of Powers on deck, and I'm using the Battle Drone to cast an extra power over time, which works pretty well in raids.
Now, what about if you're a backup troller?
Backup troller, about the same deal. It depends if you want a little more crowd control again. You pretty much want similar moves. You can put in maybe Napalm Grenade for a little more crowd control. You can go with the Suppressor Turret. The Battle Drones do stack, so you could also do the Battle Drone setup if you wanted. But mostly it's going to be the same thing for gadgets. It's just a matter of knowing your role, letting the other person have pot, knowing the different instances you have to do it. You could also go with an attack debuff, but gadgets is kind of limited on that. Sleep Dart, you have to waste a lot of power points to get down to. And there's a delay right now on Vortex Cannon where the debuff takes a second after you hit them, and it's limited in its range.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, Vortex Cannon has a bit of a lag delay on it.
You know, when I was gadgets, when I trolled, instead, if I didn't use the turret, I would use Fear Gas, because if you hit somebody with Gauze Grenade and Fear Gas, like, it totally takes them out of the game for a while. When you combo the 2 up, it seems. Maybe it's just me.
Oh, it does. I just don't, personally, I don't like.
I wouldn't use that in a raid, but like,
yeah,
something maybe Souls or something where you're getting the scientist on top of the roofs, you just Gauss and fear them, and then everyone could just have their way with them.
Oh, Souls, I just throw on the 2 turrets. I replace Word of Power with the Battle Drone, and I put the Suppressor on.
Yeah, now since the Home Turf mod came out, that's the way to go right there. You can't beat that setup.
So which is better, Speed Drain or Word of Power, or are they the same?
They give about the same power. Speed Drain ticks a little less, but I believe it gives 6 ticks instead of 5. The only difference is Speed Drain is better. Super Speed in general is better if you can master getting around with it, because it is harder getting from point A to point B. But Speed Drain comes out instantly, and it costs a skill point rather than a power point, because you never get more than 15 power points.
Yeah,
but
I was
Word
gonna
of Power
say that can be
good.
helpful. A skill point over a power point can be helpful if you're trying to get to a certain power in your tree or need an extra iconic.
Right.
Yeah.
Another thing you got to remember with Word of Power is you have to clip that move.
You definitely.
And I don't think we've won over clipping yet, which is the ability to shorten a move's animation. That's what clipping is defined as.
So that move has too much animation? Is that what you're saying?
You could clip it with a recharge or a defib.
Yeah,
though.
defib clips it instantly.
But if you're going to use it, you got to make sure you have that up. You got to make sure you do that when you do that. Sometimes, because like I play it I use Word of Power on my ice tank, so I can get a boost of power when the controller's not giving me enough energy to keep my move cycling. So I have to clip that with like a reflect.
Also, back on gadgets, for the loadouts, Intimidation is also a good clipping move, and it's good crowd control if you have an AOE ranged weapon style.
See, this is too much to know. That's why I'm not a controller.
So, where should I put my skill points?
Yeah, that's
skill points. You want Vite first, then you want Cunning, and then you want Dom. Those are the main 3 you want. Vite's going to give you higher blue number ticks. Cunning is going to make you hit criticals on your power more often, and then the Dom is going to help with crowd control effects, as well as the strength of your shields and heal, like any kind of healing you would do to yourself with your own power set.
Okay.
What about mental? If somebody wants to be a mental controller, I mean, we're not going to go through all of them, but
well, mental's pretty much the same boat as gadgets. You want the power over time move where Psychic Tendrils is probably the best. It hits multiple targets and it has that stun effect. You want psychic empowerment. For a defense debuff, I would suggest Phantom Flames over the encasement so that it doesn't interfere with any of the damage or
Yeah,
degroups the enemies.
nobody likes encasement.
Plus, it's an area of effect debuff.
Yeah.
Or if the targets are close together, rather.
Yeah,
Then I would
encasements are annoying.
Then I would use a shield move, either the Psychic Shield or Grandeur. Then a Power Dump Super, either Speed Drain or Word of Power. And the sixth move is up to you. I would say Mass Terror if you don't have a mental DPS, because that can be great crowd control. If you do, Horrific Visage.
I love when the
Those
controller
two.
has horrific visage. Now that I do like.
Yeah, that does help a lot.
Yeah, that helps.
Well, it kind of takes the entire ad out of the game, dude. Instead of having any moves to like do anything, you still damage it, and it's just sitting there as a little ghost guy floating around.
Especially in gates. It's like whenever I did a pickup group in gates, I always asked the controller right away. I said, "You have horrific visage."
The actuators.
Well, no, so you can. Well, maybe that too, but
That,
no,
the
so they
swarmers.
can turn the harpy. I call them harpies.
Swarmer.
The swarmers during the statue run. You know, the first boss. Turn those
Yeah.
guys into ghosts right away. It's very useful.
Oh, and with Word of Power and Speed Drain misses people. Speed
Okay.
Drain has big line of sight issues.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't.
And
That's true.
Word of Power almost always hits everybody. But now Speed Drain, like I'll miss people, they'll be standing right next to me.
I've
I don't
actually never seen that happen.
Happens I don't know. I find it happens not a lot, but like it definitely has line of sight issues that aren't even line of sight issues.
Then again, I haven't been
people
super
just don't
speed in a
get it.
while.
Could be a lag issue.
Awesome.
I mean, it happens in Prime too. Sometimes the Prime is pretty much wide open.
That
still
thing in the
miss it.
center does block in Prime, that like little energy field in the center.
Pillar.
Around Brainiac? Yeah,
That
that
thing is
Brainiac
annoying.
pillar. Yeah. We were trying to do, a 5-man run on that, and I think I'm getting the line of sight of my healing.
It sucks, doesn't it, Ninja? I mean, you try to throw that circle and it'll stop it. Yeah, that thing is annoying. I always
Definitely.
just
I
try to
didn't know
fly
that.
a circle around it, so I'm never like trying to cast into it. I hate when people like stand right there, while they're fighting and they're not moving, because I can't throw anything on them.
So if you were a hard light troll, what would you use?
Nobody trolls hard light, crappy. That's
That's the point.
I do.
No,
Listen, you know what-
yes, hard light. Come
Hard-
on.
Well, hard light, I'm not an expert on. I've got ideas of good loadouts, but I haven't tested any.
I have a real good loadout.
Shoot.
Go for it.
Shoot.
The claws, recharge, Word of Power, Speed Drain, whatever you want, and a shield. You don't need anything else. You don't need no debuffs. Everybody's big boys.
I knew that was
Someone's afraid to do the whip.
the whip, lunge and whip.
And
Honestly,
when you whip Swamp Thing, it makes him mad. You don't want to do that.
One thing I was always thinking with hard light is grasping hand for an attack debuff, because you can go right into the light blast, not for the damage, but just for the fact that it can stun up to 8 people. Just as a combo move, debuff them and go right into the blast.
It kind of stinks too that say you combo Ram into Whip, and the Whip is the defense debuff. The Whip won't be the defense debuff unless you use it off your loadout.
Oh yeah, I know.
I kind of think I don't know. The Whip is just a bad debuff anyway. They should just not have that like that.
Well, like I had said before, the only thing they would need to fix they need to swap the debuff on the whip and the encasement, because all the encasements are defense debuffs typically. I don't know why hard lights is a health debuff, a healing debuff.
Yeah, I hate
Well, that's
when Hard
because it
Light
does
first
4
came
instead
out.
of 2. That one's the only one that does 4 encasements at once.
That's just even more annoying. I hate when you get one of those guys.
Well, I hated when Hard Light first came out, being, when I was running on my healer a lot. Because in our league, we had a guy that insisted on being a Hard Light troller. And man, he took damage like crazy. It was a bitch to keep
Well,
him.
it's forced
Well,
to be melee. You got to expect
Right.
that.
Well, see, then back when it first came out, you didn't get the dominance wasn't so prevalent inside its shields. Restoration wasn't so useful in its shields. You got to remember they did a lot of modding to how the shields all operate now when you're in a control role.
True.
You can't cancel what is it, boxing gloves and claws with, say, recharge.
You could cancel claws. I clip the claws with it, so I don't have to lunge.
Yeah, that way you
could
don't have to
probably do
lunge
the boxing
into melee
gloves, too.
distance.
I don't use them though.
Well, you don't.
But yeah, because you could clip it instantly. I mean, it's totally doable to get up there and hit people with the whip, but it just gets annoying because, like, as a troll, you're more or less most of the time you're standing in the background.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
And then just to go forward and
That's
then
the way
hit
it should
with the
be.
whip and then back up. You know what I mean? It gets annoying after a while. So when I play, you're just gonna have to kill them a little slower.
I never see hard light trolls anymore. I never see hard light. They're all DPS. I never.
I see them.
It's very rare.
Yeah. I can't remember the last time I ran with a hard light troller.
I had one in my league.
Next
he
time
did
you
pretty
need a
good job
troll,
at
then
it.
fight me. I'll troll something for you.
What's the name of your league anyway, Glenn?
Dark Sanctum.
Dark Sanctum. All right. We'll have to see if anybody's. I mean, do you run with those guys a lot?
I haven't lately.
Are you like on the A team or the B team, or are you like
I don't
Super
run
Patriot on the B team?
I don't run arenas with them.
Oh, that's rough.
I'm just kidding.
The sad part isn't you're not.
I'm joking. I'm just joking.
Off that though, does anyone else have anything to add on the trolling thing?
I'd have to say, like, in terms of hard light, they have a lot of shields that they can rotate off of. They got their supercharged shield, because you gotta remember, like, controllers are also good for support in general.
Yeah.
Because Mental has their
Mental has Bastion.
Bastion, that shield that, whenever you get hit, you restore power. It would be better for PvP rather than, an instance, but you got to remember that's there. Like, that's an option. Hardlight has, that group shield. I think it's a little more meat.
The 4 people shield for Mental too.
Mental has it actually for the it's the whole group now. They buff Bastion.
Really?
Yeah, they buffed
It's
it.
a 50% supercharge now, and it hits the whole group.
Yeah, and it also gives back, as long as the shield's up, it gives you back X amount of power. I think it's like 100 per hit.
Yeah, if you're getting hit, it gives you back power, and it absorbs damage.
Oh, I didn't know that since the update. I haven't been Mental in a while.
And that's Bastion?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the guy in our old league, he always popped that. He always ran with Bastion.
It's a useful PvP move. I would have to say not so much PvE.
Yeah, the
It's
problem
better
with
if you had Word of Power.
the problem with it in PvP is you figure a good troll has somewhere between 900 and 1,000 Dom right now, maxed. And if you take the restoration, the shield's probably going to take about 1,800. So if the shield gets one-shotted off you, I don't think you're going to get as much power back as if you took a few hits with it surviving. I just think the sheer amount of damage capable of coming in makes it a little less useful.
Mm-hmm,
I could be wrong on that.
I'm just saying it's better for PvP just because odds are it's not going to get one shot off of you.
It's going to last longer.
Yeah, you're definitely going to get a little more ticks off of it, is what I'm saying. Rather than, if you're in PvE, you had, like, bad placement, it's already off of you, You don't get those large amount of ticks.
And I would like my troll to have a power instead of a shield.
Definitely.
I could always block if I need to.
But I mean, like, think of it as this, like, you have a hard light troller and a mental troller in PvP. You could rotate those shields. That's like, 30, 45 seconds of you being pretty much invulnerable as long as they last.
That'd be super annoying. Don't even put those ideas out there. Don't be filling people's heads up with that.
Well, they're doing that now in PvP.
They're doing it now. One of the big things right now that I run into is healers with the home turf healing mods for the hands rotating their power shield and hard light shield for infinite healing and infinite defense.
All right, how about mental trolls? And they got 3 shields, and then they have the weapon mod with the shields on them.
The weapon mod doesn't trigger the
There's
home
shields
turf.
everywhere. We might need them though for the new stuff.
You might need them.
Yeah, I was gonna say because Gadgets is actually the only troller that can't do shields.
But they got the battle drone. None of the other two have a constant tick move like that.
Yeah.
That kind of counterbalances.
I don't even mind. I don't mind losing out on that heal for PvE wise because I'd rather use distract just for the fact that it drops the aggro. When you
True.
pop a hard light shield or just any other shield, like the people who are attacking you are still attacking you. And your
Grander
shield is
drops
only
That's
good
aggro
for
Ranger,
too.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that one
Grander
drops the
Grander
aggro,
drops aggro
too.
too.
Yeah.
I was using that originally. It's just when you pay 3,700 plus Triumph for the Tier 4 home turf mods,
You better use it.
it's like there's nothing else better on the hands. Like, I'm not really going to use stealth that often in combat.
Yeah, there really isn't anything on the hands. They kind of
Yeah, there's nothing.
Yeah, stealth is more of a PvP aspect. Anyways,
Definitely.
That doesn't the Catwoman have that in Legends also, the stealth?
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
a lot of tunes have a stealth. It's good to
No,
do it
actually,
in combat.
No, mainly it's mostly the older ones, the ones that first came out, like the first
Robin and Catwoman. Yeah.
Robin,
Catwoman,
Batman,
Batman.
and they're
Catwoman,
standing on
Harley.
a node,
Harley, yeah.
and the node is captured, and you're like, oh, I wonder if anybody's on here. They think they're
That
sneaky
happened
because
to
they're
me.
invisible.
That happened to me right before we came on for the podcast tonight. I was waiting on that node, and that Catwoman came up and just smoked me.
Well, that's because she came up after you captured the node, but sometimes they'll sit on the node and they'll be invisible.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Well, one of
the
the
node's
best
already
things-
captured, and you know that they're standing there because if they get off, it's not going to be captured.
One of the
Like,
best things to
love
do
those
with
people. I just
stealth
laugh at them.
and Legends is to, you counter someone and they've already blown their trinket, right? So that's like 2 seconds. You can now stealth in combat. I think like Game Update 19 allowed you to do that. You stealth in combat, backstab them, there's an extra 1,000 damage that they can't do anything about. And a lot of people don't actually take advantage of that.
Well, that's what's hitting me.
One of the ways I usually use it is I'll have somebody like my partner stand on the point, and I'll stand off to the side of the point, and I'll ambush before they get to the point and just take them out.
Exactly. Yeah, especially if you crit, that's like 1,600.
Yeah.
It's balanced count because I heard you go like, you got to be kidding me. It's balanced just because like.
Well, no, I
stealth
said
has,
that's
like,
what was hitting me.
Yeah, stealth has like a 2 to 3 minute cooldown, and ambush I think you have to hit behind the person before it do any kind of good damage.
Yeah, but it's a nice way to pretty much a nice way to get instant things because back when it used to when they first did it, because in Legends it's always been where you can go into stealth right away for Legendary's characters. So what I used to do is I used to play Robin, and I used to stack up a whole bunch of stuff, and I deal a whole bunch of damage, go into stealth, pop out of stealth while they're still stunned by his throwing stars, and I used to crit them for like half their life, and I'd finish them off with the rest of my staff combos.
I think what we're going to do down the road is have an episode dedicated to Legend strategy. I think that would be really good. Go over a bunch of the different tunes, or Legends characters, and just hash out all the strategy, between, maybe have a debate about that. I think that'd be a good idea for a show.
I love Legends.
Yeah,
I
maybe
just hope
down the
people
road.
I'm playing with are good.
'Cause I know
and stand
Glenn likes
back and shoot
Legends.
people.
He makes videos all the time, Legends.
Yeah, I love Legends.
We spend hours on Legends, so what else? We
Yeah.
have to talk about controllers.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll basically just sum up trollers for anyone listening to this for the guide.
Give us power.
Yeah, but mainly your set is going to be power over time, a recharge power dump move, a defense debuff, a defense shield of some sort, a power dump super, speed drain or word of power, and the sixth move is usually up to you. Build a rhythm with the other troller. Make sure that the tanks and the healers are your priority for having power, and dump to the DPSs whenever possible. If you're the primary troller, mostly you're going to be doing the power over time move, trying to get the double tick, and you're going to be clipping weapon combos and other things with your recharge. Secondary controller is going to worry more about debuffs, and he's also going to be clipping recharge whenever possible, and just try and keep the power. Just try and get into a rhythm, and keep it going as smooth as possible.
Nice.
You got to
That's pretty much
explain the debuff thing, though. Everything doesn't need a debuff. I hate when you get in a room and everything has a debuff on it. Bosses need debuffs.
You're wasting power.
Yeah,
I was in
wasting
FOS
power.
1 once, and a turret had all 3 debuffs on it, and nobody had any power. I switched over to chat, and I normally and I'm over attacking this turret, and I'm like, really? I was like, buddy, we have no power. I'm over here shooting stuff with my rifle.
But look
because
at
you're
it
an
this
idiot.
way.
Hey, that
If
turret
that turret could
defense
heal
is
its
down,
life
man.
back, if that
So-
that turret didn't have the healing debuff, you'd be in trouble.
We would have never been able to kill it.
No, let's explain the debuffs then, since everybody
Yeah.
wants to know. You have 3 different debuffs you can put on. There's a heart debuff, which will debuff the amount of healing they can do. That's normally in PvP associated with the healers. You'll debuff their ability to heal other people. That's only cut down into about half. You get a debuff defense that it's the
Shield.
target.
The defense is the shield.
The defense is the shield, but
Attack is the crosshair.
yeah, attack's crosshair. That's what I'm thinking about.
And the attack and defense debuff, I think, are 7%.
So no health debuffs on turrets is what you're trying to say.
No health
You don't
debuff.
need
if we
any
sum all
debuffs
this-
on a turret.
With
No
exceptions.
debuffs on a turret at FOS.
Most
You
of
get
the
right
time,
out
if
of
you're
my
running any
raid to
debuffs,
debuff a turret. I'll do the raid with no troll.
okay,
I think the
if
rule
you're gonna do
basically
it,
is PvE, you don't need the healing debuff.
there are certain instances where it'll work good for you actually, like because there's actually
Certain
one
bosses
time,
can heal themselves too.
Sure.
Yeah, like the Prime Assassin.
It's very, very, very situational though.
right.
Yeah.
Light Blast and Prime for the healing drones is awesome. That's a killer move in
Oh,
Prime.
yeah,
There's healing
yeah.
drones come out and you hit them with Light Blast,
Yep.
you instantly just stun them.
Yep. Voltaic Bolt's not bad on that either.
Neither is Gauss Grenade. It'll drop.
Yeah. You're always whatever.
Yeah, but primarily when you're running any type of raid, if you're looking for a debuff, you want to use the defense debuff, which is only shield. Most of the moves will actually stay, and if it's in controller role, it will debuff this. And so, like, the primary ones that people use are going to be, like, Gauss Grenade for gadgets,
Phantom Flames.
Phantom Flames for mental, and, like they were saying, the whip attack was for hard light.
And you don't need debuffs on anything except the boss.
Mainly, you're just going to be debuffing the boss, that's correct.
Well, boss
Right.
and certain larger NPCs.
Certain things, like
maybe like the Reaver in Gates or
maybe like the actuator in the hallway.
Yeah, the
maybe burn
actuator.
down
But those
quick,
are kind of like
you know.
mini bosses anyway.
yeah, the mini boss
so,
style enemies.
Yeah.
But like if you're going through the hallway in Gates or the beginning of Gates, you don't need to be tossing debuffs on everything like all these trolls are doing these days.
Too much
If
power.
you want to go use your
Right.
powers like crazy, be a
The
DPS.
actuator is the only thing that matters anyway. So
hmm
yeah.
People debuffing trash it's annoying, you know. Like it's okay if everybody has power and you're doing it, but if everybody's running low on power, if you have a power thirsty group, you can't just be debuffing random stuff for no reason.
One side note I should add. Typically in a raid environment, the shield move is there on your loadout primarily because it usually comes down to a DPS if he's close enough, but it usually comes down to you to pick people up when they go down. The healers can't pick them up because they're healing and the tank has all the aggro, so always be looking to pick people up. That's kind of a sub job too.
Yeah, that's like the troll's job. When I troll, I feel it's my duty to go pick everybody up.
Well, you know, it should, though, truth be told, it should be relying on the other DPS to do it, not the controllers, but,
You know what? The DPS usually don't have a shield, so that's why I take.
Yeah,
like,
the
trolls
trollers have a
usually always
powerful
have a
shield.
That's not saying that the DPS shouldn't try though.
Oh yeah, no.
No.
If you're
Yeah,
right next to
definitely,
somebody,
yeah.
you should always try to get them. And
Yeah,
more
I
than
hate that
but
when I see
more
a
than one
guy go
person.
down.
should
A
usually
troller
go
has an advantage doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
the odds
again,
are the troller will have stronger resto and dominance to make the shield stronger anyways.
Yeah, typically now, I think, like I said, if you got like near 1,000 Dom and you got the 800 plus resto, they have to do 1,800 damage to you just before they can knock you off of picking them up. Usually you
Or
can pick
3
them up
hits.
before that.
or 3 hits.
Yeah.
3 hits are so much damage.
yeah,
So
but
if you got a bunch of people
another
that
side
don't
note
hate
on picking
on
people
quick.
up. Don't everybody rush over to pick up the same person. That's
Yeah,
how
We're gonna
groups get
dedicate an episode about picking people up. No, I'm just kidding.
You know, I like,
So-
especially on Prime, I always like at least 2 people to try to pick somebody up because someone is always going to get fucked with when you're
Right.
trying to pick somebody up sometimes. You know, so if you got 2 people, or just when the troll goes over and he has a shield, basically anybody with a shield, go pick that dude up. You know, because you'll usually be good.
And speaking of people going down, like I said before, you know, if the main troller does go down, remember, you got to throw pot now. Always be ready to do that.
Yeah, Vorpal Mage or whatever your name was.
I thought we weren't calling people out.
Nah, I've been drinking.
Call him out.
I've been drinking.
I think the Count has been drinking a little bit, and he no longer cares about his own rules.
He's unfiltered.
When was that a rule, Ninja? When did I say that was a rule? I just said, you know.
Welcome to,
I said,
welcome to After Hours with the Contract Killers and the DCUO Project Crew. We are now R-rated.
that's what we do, man.
I bet you could go on the forums and look at any troll topic, and everybody just wants to debuff things. They're like, oh, crowd control this, crowd control that. That's my job. That's my job.
No, the truth be told, you guys are the controllers are normally batteries first, and everything else after. Normally it goes battery, then it goes debuff, then it goes crowd control. If you have the
Not
energy.
according to these guys on the forums. Listen, I've been playing since beta. Blah 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 blah. Crowd control this, crowd control that. And you know what I tell them? Well, you know what? You've been playing for 2 years and you still don't know your role. I was like, that sucks.
Know your role. That's why we made this segment.
Well, the only catch with battery controllers is we still got to wait to see if pure battery controllers works after DLC 7, because weren't they talking that with the new tier of gear that move, like doing your actual powers is going to cost more energy? So, you know, if a move now costs 200 or 300 power and in the future it costs like 400 to 600, you know, that 160 plus tick a controller puts out is going to mean a lot less.
You got to.
It really depends how much battery we can be.
Everybody's gear has Vite on it, so the more Vite you have.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's going to be more about them building their own power back than us being a pure.
You're not going to notice a change at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not.
I'm
really,
just saying.
You're going to get a bigger bonus. You're going to get a bigger bonus too, Kaiser.
Yeah, the two are going to equal each other out basically. So you're not going to notice.
Well, we're going by hearsay. We'll have to wait till we.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see.
That was just one
We've been saying that a lot lately. We just got to wait and see. Wait and see. I'm tired of waiting.
Yeah, they need to put it out like tomorrow. Just drop it.
Well,
when I troll, I make trolling very easy when I troll. I put my hand blasters on, I tap triangle twice, and I hit recharge. I hit triangle 2 more times, and I hit recharge. And I do that over and over. And sometimes I run out of power, and I drink a soda. And I hit triangle 2 more times and use a recharge. And I do that over and over the whole entire raid. Some people might say anybody could do that, but obviously anybody can't because people can't do that.
Right.
That's basically all I do. I go into the tap 3 triangle, hold flurry shot with the bow, pop a recharge, make sure pot's up at the time, occasionally clip the flurry shot with a gauze grenade to debuff something instead of recharge, or just use them both in succession, and just keep doing that. Flurry shot, grenade, recharge, recharge, recharge. You know, just keep doing it. Build a rhythm.
Why some people can't do that. Like, almost every time my recharge is cooled down, I'm right back on it. If I have enough power to give out, I'll give it out. Because if everybody's doing that, like, they'll become to a point where you can't throw power back and forth constantly because someone will run out of power. But that's why you drink a soda. And then I'll drink a soda. You know, and you can just keep on doing that. Like, some people are like, oh, you always need to do... Like, I only do a 2-hit weapon combo, and I control something with somebody in my league and never do more than a 2-hit weapon combo.
Soda, that's when I drop the battle drone and the supply drop and the deep sea sunken rune.
Those premium players, they don't like to use sodas, man, because they're too expensive for them.
Rock has trolled raids and not even put a number up on the board. No damage. And just gave everybody power. I mean, he probably accidentally hit something, but he had basically no power out.
That's another thing.
I was in another raid with somebody, just a random dude, with one of my buddies from the league, and the troll had no damage out, 0. Wow. He was pumping out power like crazy. He was just standing there and recharging, drinking sodas and shit.
Well, on the flip side of that, I ran strikers one time with a troller that had no idea that a troller was supposed to throw power. He had never heard of that concept. We got halfway through it. We got to the rogues, and we kept wiping. This is a while back ago. You know, this is about a year ago. But we got to the rogues, and I was like, what's going on? And I talked to him, and he was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, wow, you have to be kidding me. I mean, he accidentally threw it up every once in a while. You know, like maybe once every 10 minutes, he accidentally threw it up. He must have.
He just happened to be using one of those moves.
Yeah, but he had no concept that he was supposed to be throwing power.
It's not his fault, probably. It's
Yeah.
again, the game needs a tutorial for
Right.
it. He didn't know any better, and he probably had no one give him like tips on it, like you have to do this and you have to do that.
Yeah, he thought the gadget power was cool because he wanted a Joker themed character. He didn't
Yeah.
think about the role he was going to be playing, So
Well, that's one of the biggest faults about this game is there is no way to understand. There's no brief example of what your role is going to be when you get to level 10. There should be something that tells you what you're doing,
called YouTube.
but there isn't.
Called
Well, it shouldn't be YouTube's job. That should have been in the game when the game was developed.
Right.
Well, I'd have to say, in defense of the game, I haven't seen one MMO where they have a tutorial role.
Right.
I have.
So, I mean, Defiance has a tutorial role.
Yeah, how to use each one of your powers. That's what you want to do.
That's not really the same concept. Is there tanking in Defiance? Is there DPS in Defiance? Is there healing in Defiance? Then it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, there is parts of it where you can use healing and stuff. It doesn't
Yeah,
go
the Defiance tutorial is not bad. I don't think it really applies to playing a role, but
Yeah,
But
is there a
does give you
dedicated healing role that has a tutorial in Defiance? Is what I'm asking.
yeah,
well,
but
there's not a dedicated healer because you're just using weapons.
right, exactly.
Exactly.
It's
That's
like
what
Guild
I'm
Wars.
saying.
You don't have a role to play. Everyone can be everything. You can be a healer, sorcery. You can, or you can be a damage. Every role has its own. You can be a crowd control guy. You can be a healer. Every role can do that.
I mean, I'll just.
All I'm asking for from this is just to bring up at least a slight thing here, have this text that tells you what your role is and what you're supposed to be doing in it.
And a little bit more detail instead of just reading the description and the power trees.
That would be great, but I'm just gonna pull this out of the biggest MMO out there, which is World of Warcraft, and World of Warcraft doesn't even have that.
Yeah,
so.
World of Warcraft doesn't have.
It doesn't have a tutorial role.
But they're going to assume that
you know how to play it.
The community.
That's what I'm saying, though. There's no tutorial in any MMO that has, tutorial for your role specifically. If DC did that, it'd be the first one I've seen.
Well, most MMOs now are getting away from that, the holy trinity, they call it. The tank, support, and heals. They're getting away from all that. You're making so everyone can, because a lot of people get excluded in the game. Like tanks and DCUO, there was a lot of times where nobody even called for a tank because tanks were kind of obsolete there for a while.
And tanks are limited to one per raid right now, usually anyway, where the other roles get multiples.
Yeah. There was a 6-month period where we didn't run raids. There was one raid we ran with a tank.
Well, that's because they put that one thing in there where everybody got that 10% tank bonus. So everybody gets an increase in 10% of their things.
See, I didn't like that. I didn't like when they put that in the game. I mean, it kind of makes it interesting for queues. I mean, they're trying to speed up queue times. That was the whole point of that.
But it wasn't for raids.
Yeah,
that's what a lot of people
it's not
got
for raids.
confused over.
But when Gates came along, you need a tank. You have to have a tank for Gates. I mean,
I like to run a tank in the T2s. In outer and inner, those are annoying with no tank.
Right.
I always get the tank, and it just makes it easier.
Yeah.
It's definitely doable.
Yeah.
No problem. I guess I'm the healer, and I'm always the next in line.
Well, I hope they expand it where you play more than 8 players in an instance and you run 2 tanks.
Well, then it comes back to the same thing that's always happening right now is we run into a lot of now, and now we're playing an extra. Let's say we put an extra 2 people on, so we're having 10 people groups now. That's now an extra 2 people running up the thing, and it will make you lag more. And it will
that's out. Yeah. Now on the PC, that's probably not an issue, but
in here, in the PS3, it is an issue.
Maybe PlayStation 4.
Well, maybe.
Yeah.
I better be
Let's
able to
not
play
even
on
get into
PlayStation
that.
4.
That's another hour. That's another hour discussion.
No, but really, how mad are you going to be when PlayStation 4 comes out when we're playing on PS3?
I might be happy for a while.
I mean, I wouldn't really mind.
I don't want to rush right out and have to buy a
play.
PlayStation 4 right off the bat. I really want to wait. I don't like buying consoles when they first come out. I don't like it. I like to wait.
Yeah, just in case they got some bugs.
Right. I like to wait about 6 months. So I'm kind of hoping there's a delay on it, to be honest with you.
Okay, so I just came up with a question in terms of controlling.
All right.
How do you think quantum controlling is going to work?
I think it's going to be mostly crowd control. To me, it looks like it's so far the same kind of controller as mental, where it's group controlled. Something kind of similar to that. More about crowd control.
I remember reading on the forums where someone was suggesting like trying to create some difference between controllers, because mostly controllers are this. You have your power over time, and then you have your power dump, and unfortunately they're kind of the same thing. Defib, psychic empowerment, and recharge are all the same thing. Like you put up your hands, and it's like everybody has power now. And then the power over times are just kind of different because they all kind of do something different. But that's really the only thing that makes each controller power kind of stand out at the moment is your power over time, and really nothing else.
Yeah,
So
that's pretty much what I expect from Quantum. I mean, your loadout pretty much in Quantum, no matter what they make the trees, is going to be the power, whichever of the two power over times you like, the recharge move, again a defense debuff, whichever one of the two or three you like, a defense move like a shield, and a power dump super. And the 6 move is usually up to you. It's going to be 5 of those 6 moves are going to be those moves.
Mm-hmm.
Like it builds itself for a troller pretty much. It's just how you play the class.
The person that made the forum post was trying to say like there should be more kind of unique things about each power set, and like he suggested like light controllers could like lay down like one of the light batteries, and anyone around it has like short power ticks, or like mental has like, I don't know. It was just kind of like
he was trying
suggesting
to
new.
Trying to diversify the powers.
Sort of
Yeah,
like
exactly.
the battle drone in a sort of way like that. The gadgets has the battle drone and they don't.
Yep.
Yeah, he's trying to do the same thing as like what healers have, like how
healers are different.
Oh yeah, how
tanking is
everybody
different,
heals in a different
but
way.
controlling
Heal,
power
area
sets
heal.
don't really have a variation.
Yeah.
Here's the one issue I would have with that. If they did that, it would kind of devolve into the one problem that healers have. You would always have to run a different class. There's already not a lot of controllers around, but if we start getting the shouts like, well,
I see what you mean.
we already have a quantum controller. Okay, we need a non-quantum. Like if it diversifies the fact that like that, like we need non-quantum troller for this raid, just like they do. We need a non-nature healer or a non-sorcery healer. Or if one power was so good that that's all they shouted, like we need 2 quantums for this, nothing else, because their move is beast and yours is just kind of all right. So that would just alienate the other ones. They would just pick the best, and it would alienate classes at that point.
Well, I think that difference is overstated a little because I ran Prime last week with 2 electric healers. I barely took any damage at all. I mean, it was
electric has
smooth
the
as
advantage
silk.
where it doesn't really overwrite itself.
Yeah. Now 2 natures.
Two
Two natures will overwrite the pheromones.
Right.
So
Right.
sorcery can't lay its circle on top of each other,
Yeah.
but electric has the 2 single target heals.
Yeah.
And when they're gonna overwrite the 35% or under, if you get your health under like 35%,
Right.
you get an insta. That's all they're overwriting.
Yeah.
And plus Ionic Drain, they can both do Ionic Drain and not overlap each other, I think. And they could both just pop galvanizes and stuff.
See, I wish
Electric, it doesn't
sorcery
matter as
circle.
much.
I wish the sorcery circle would stack. That would be awesome.
What's the mindset
I was
of that?
gonna say
stacking.
if they
PvP,
would,
I think.
Yeah. People were angry about PvP, so whatever wrongdoings happens in PvP, it affects PvE. It's just like the damage circle. You can't have 2 circles of destructions on top of each other. You can't have 2 infernos. But you can have an inferno and a circle of destruction on top of each other, which makes no sense.
Right.
I wish they changed that back to the old way.
I do too. I wish there wasn't also split damage.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Although speaking of trollers and nerfs, what is up with what they're doing with Hard Light this next game update with all the newest patch notes?
Speak on it.
They're slowing my fan down.
I mean,
Damn them.
the fan was what it's
Pissed.
like they're purposely trying to cripple it out of like being one of the top strong DPS classes, because without the fan, its ranged DPS game drops off in damage per second greatly, and now that Light Claws are blockable, an NPC can just make you fall right down while doing them and can put you in a major disadvantage when melee combat's risky already.
I'm all
I mean,
broken
they're
up
hurting
about
the
it.
two
Claws
best
has
combos.
always been blockable.
So was that
Yeah,
a
but
fix
now-
then?
No, Light Claws has always been blockable.
No, it's always been blockable, but since they added the ability for the ads to block now, that's what he's trying to get at.
Yeah, I think it can be blocked in PvE now.
Yeah. So now you have like
PvE.
PvE ads that will sit there and hold block the entire time, and you're trying to lunge them with the Light Claws, you get your ass knocked down.
Oh yeah,
Well,
and then you get
the
shit.
Light Claws that
Yeah.
like applied like other things. You have like 1 or 2 hits leeway before you're punished.
Right.
Unless you're one of the ones that clip so fast, you go into the claw and immediately go into the hold move, so that you do the AOE slam. You hit with that hold move, then you're instantly going to get knocked back if anything's blocking now.
Yeah.
That's
yeah, you're
definitely going to
screwed there.
change.
Yeah,
That's going to throw hard light DPS off the timing. Definitely.
Hard light
A
DPS
lot.
is already screwed though when T5 comes out and we have to be ranged.
Yeah.
Now that snap trap doesn't stack like it
and
did
the fan
before.
has that lag on it.
Hard light
Yeah,
DPS is going to be a lot weaker now.
I'm surprised it didn't.
Just has people going back to the training dummy and finding out new ways how to play the class.
Yeah, basically.
There really isn't. I mean, you could do ram, snap trap, fan, and throw the lightweight, and do that over and over and over, and that's like decent for range, But like, I don't know. The whip is the best move, and can't do that if you're far away. So hard light's not going to be. I don't know. It's not going to be a real good contender.
And I'm all broken up about it too, man. I just don't know if I'll get over it.
No,
Anyway.
you wanted gadgets to catch it, which I'm surprised they didn't touch at all. With how many people, all the hype on gadget DPS, I'm surprised they didn't do little tweaks there.
Game update 26 for that.
Everybody just needs to complain about a power because they're not that power.
Well, maybe gadgets doesn't have a strong range game either. I guess they're going to have trouble in the next DLC anyway.
It'll probably actually still be the same. It's just everyone will be doing a little less damage because they're farther away.
I don't see them doing anything to gadgets. I really don't.
Well, we know they nerf it, then they fix it, then they nerf it, then they fix it, then they nerf it, then they fix it. That's how they've been doing with all the classes.
Right.
Like, sorcery used to be one of the best classes in the game. So did pistols. Like, the pistols used to be great.
Well, they were exploitable when the game first came out. Everybody wanted to use dual pistols because they had that exploit.
Power-wise, honestly, I'm going to call this right now. When those hard light changes go into effect, and because of the ranged nature of new DLC and learning it, I'm expecting to see a lot of those hard light people switching to ice. Because ice is really strong right now.
Yeah.
Ice is the flavor of the month.
I see ice becoming what hard light is now. Everyone's
but they're not nerfing
ice.
the damage on the fan, are they? They're just
no, but that delay makes
time down a little bit.
Well, yeah, you can't really clip with it anymore, so that takes what you would do one fan where it's going to take the same amount of time you could do 3 fans in a combo. You're only going to be able to do 1 or maybe 2. Like you're going to lose rotation time.
Yeah, you'll probably lose maybe 1 rotation every 4 times, maybe. I don't know, like.
But you figure 1 every 4 times is going to be 25% of your DPS gone.
Yeah, then you got to think the gadget DPS that's up there melee, and with his one hand, he's not going to be doing that either. So he's going to be dropping that DPS.
Pretty
but
much.
That still does put a cramp in my style. Everyone will just be doing it a little slower anyway. Sometimes I'm lazy, good, and then everyone else could be slow and lazy.
You know how new raids are. It's going to be going back to the tank and spank strategy. Tank go in the middle and take everything. Everyone used to AoE range DPSs until they learn stuff.
I'm not even worrying about my troll. I'd just be healing it. I stand back and watch everybody.
My healer doesn't have enough skill points, unfortunately, when this new update hits.
It's got more than a certain other YouTuber.
Well, I mean, come on. Guys off the Brainiac ship got more than that. But anyway.
It's got more than a certain person, and it's an alt.
So listen, if I was the troll, how many skill points would I need to troll with?
Well, then it's going to increase with this next update, isn't it? Right now it's only like 87 for maxing out all your skill points.
Is it 87?
Well, with the breakouts.
Yeah, with the breakouts.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's 76. I think it's 76 because you get that 1 skill point you start with.
Right.
So 76 for going down all the trees without getting moves, plus 7 breakouts is 83, And then if you want to fill out a weapon tree, maybe 86. But
Depending
if
on
you
what
want to
weapon
be a
you're-
battery troll, you're going to need 30 more for Vite, so about 116. And then Doms will put you to 146 probably.
Yeah, have you tried to calculate that out, Glenn? I'm just wondering.
Calculate what?
The skill points.
Oh, for the new
Yeah.
stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's about right. It's gonna
Yeah, that'd
it's
be
gonna be
awesome
like
to include
130
in your
plus.
video.
116 with all the Vites, 146 Dom and everything. I'm
Mm.
thinking.
Yeah, Glenn,
Somewhere around there.
the new video you're making, if you're going to make another video, definitely try to add that in where you calculate the exact, man, you'll get a lot of people wanting that.
Present company, thought of, I feel sorry for fire tanks.
I really do too.
Me
I
too.
do.
Oh yeah, that sucks.
Present company accepted, of course. I feel
Yeah,
sorry
Jay.
I mean,
for fire
I need
tanks.
114 to max it out currently.
Yeah.
Now it's going to be some. I don't even think there's enough skill points in the game to
You're
max
gonna
it
need
out, are there?
210 to max it out now.
I think
Well,
the
I
max is
imagine-
170, something like that.
Thought it was like 164, 165.
Yeah, I don't think you
Well, that's
can max a
manageable.
fire tank out.
That's manageable because you're going to get a lot of feats to do.
Yeah, there's gonna be a ton
Yeah,
of.
there's going to be I mean, this is their biggest DLC
that many
yet
skill
coming.
points out. There's
Yeah,
gonna be
so
a lot of new skill
there's going to be
points.
tons of feats. Everybody's
I-
going to go up like 10 to 15 skill points like in a
I-
week.
I just got my 114 skill point too.
Yeah, you're not in bad shape. You're not in bad shape.
How do you think I feel? I'm 119 and I need to get to 146.
Yeah, I just hit 126 and I have to. Now I'm going to have to get what 142.
But you need.
Yeah.
I finally got my my healer to dual spec for both healer and DPS.
That's where I'm at.
You're
right
still in
now.
good. You're still in good shape. You won't be dual spec, but you're in good shape for the heals.
How many skill
Yeah,
points?
heal-
do you
healer
need
is
for
the
healing
least,
with
I
the new
think.
stuff?
Healer's the least.
Do what, Crappy? I didn't hear you.
How many skill points you need with the new stuff for healing?
I think it's 119.
Yeah, I think it is because you figure the 83 formula I just did for all the critical healings and the restos, plus a weapon would be about 86, and then just 30 more points for the extra restos, so about 116, 119.
Yeah,
Oh,
something like around
that.
there.
I got
Yeah,
126
healers get off
up.
easy.
Listen to you.
That's what I like. Good.
My healer's only got like 84 skill points though, so I got a lot of work to do.
I'm still gonna rack them up though because I like to spec into all the extra health and everything.
I'd really like the breakouts on my healer. The breakouts, I don't have any of those, so
Yeah, they come in handy, especially with the power. I like it
Definitely.
with the power return.
Yeah, it kind of makes me upset because I finally just got my last last skill point to get a fully dual spec, so I never have to redo any of my skill points again. Oh yeah, guess what? You're getting like a whole bunch more skill points to get.
I mean, it's kind of a double-edged sword. It's a good thing. It's bad, you know what I mean? But it's frustrating, you know.
I
got
don't
a
even
quick question
respect
about.
when I DPS. Screw that. I DPS at resto. Just put my DPS gear on.
No, one of the things I got a question though is they going to have more critical increases in chances and magnitudes?
No.
Or they
No.
gonna
No, there
they're
isn't.
just innate.
It's just stats.
Yeah.
Vite, resto,
It's
might,
150
precision,
more
health,
might.
defense.
It's 106 more precision. I can't remember the rest.
They added one.
Power.
Yeah, you can spec into more power.
Nice.
That's good for tanks too, man, because tanks have a really low
yeah.
power pool.
That and precision.
great.
There's more precision now too.
Poor Jay.
No more pyro time. No more
No,
pyro time.
it's always pyro time.
No more pyro time.
So what else on the agenda? Do we have anything else more on controllers, or are we good?
I think we covered it in.
I think that's a lot of good information, more than I've heard just, anybody else talk about controller, especially on the forums. So
Oh my god, the trolls on the forums, they write me messages because they hate me so much.
there's just not enough.
I always
people-
have to comment on their threads, and they're like, "You're a healer. You don't know what you're talking about." It's like I have a troll too.
Yeah, there's just not enough people giving out good information on the game. I mean, people want to talk about how good they are in 1v1s, or they want to talk about how they want to try to clean up the community and all that. Yeah, right. And then, nobody's really actually coming out and like giving people, they don't want to share information or give people actually, some help. But they want to complain about those people, but they don't want to give any information to help those people out. So
Yeah, like they complain about the bad controllers and stuff, but they don't help them out at all.
exactly.
They don't give them half.
That's
they
what we're
half
going to
fill it
try to
out.
do. We're going to try to help some people out,
I
Well,
always try to
it's
help
that-
out shitty people.
Yep.
It's that, and I think a few of them got confused with the scorecard. You sometimes see those trollers who they have to be top power out, so they're constantly overwriting ticks, or they spam recharge down to nothing, and I think scorecard chasers is another distraction a little bit.
Remove the scorecard.
Well, I mean,
Remove
you
the
can check your stat. I mean, you can at
Yeah.
the rate you can check to see how you're doing.
It's not a race. It's just if
Right.
it goes smooth,
Right.
then it's good. It's about getting the content done, not about who did what.
What I like them to do with the scorecard, if they're not going to get rid of it, is just display your own scorecard. And if you want to share it with somebody, you can share it
There
with
you
somebody.
go.
But if you
That would
don't
be-
want to share it, you
that'd be a
keep it
good
to your
idea.
goddamn self.
Oh my god, everybody would be lying.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
man, how much did you do?
Oh, it would just be a DPS war.
Yeah, but at least then there would be no proof, and no one would have to. We don't have to listen to all these people.
That's true.
I love listening to the DPS argue back and forth.
What,
In the
you
beginning of the
cheated?
raids, they're all
You-
talking
you
shit on
used
each other.
You used the clown box transmutation glitch that used to be in the game.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm at the top of the scorecard. Really? Okay. Well, let's take away about 80,000 of your damage.
Oh my god, I used to crush those dudes. I wouldn't even try hard, and I would crush them. I'd laugh so hard at them
With what character?
with my light guy.
Yeah, figures.
The scorecard can be
What are you
used.
saying, light's overpowered or something?
The scorecard can be used.
No,
as
no,
a
no.
tool.
I'm not implying lights overpowered. I'm flat out directly saying to you, lights overpowered. I'm not implying nothing. I'm saying it.
Well, the
It's a
scorecard can be
fun
used as a tool.
I've been it
Because-
since the day it came out, though. I'm not one of those.
I have too, although I switched that character around. I know what it's about.
Yeah, if you're a DPS and the other two DPS and you're equally geared or somewhat equally geared, and the other two DPS are out DPSing you by 70-80%, you're probably doing something wrong. I mean, you can use the scorecard that way.
Yeah.
But other than that, to sit there and just use it like, oh, I'm the best, and all this.
Well, no, it kind of pisses me off because we play the 4-man things where there would be I'll be in there, Kaiser will be in there as a healer, and Jay will be in there as a tank, and then me, Kaiser, and Jay will out DPS to DPS in DPS role when we're on our roles.
Well, you got to look at his gear. If he's under geared, he's a newer player. He's under geared. That's acceptable. But if he's not, then he's
We're talking Soul.
We're talking Soul Academy, which you need to have at least.
Soul Alchemy.
I only have one beef with DPSs.
That's wrong.
My one beef with DPSs is I don't like the ones that talk trash, but when you look at the scorecard, they only beat your damage out by like 30,000, but they use twice as much power in as you.
Yeah, or healers like that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I hate people that try to out heal.
Trick shot ace.
Okay, that new loadout was a test, and obviously it's too power hungry. I've realized this, and I've changed since then.
There's nothing wrong with being power hungry, as long as you're killing shit quick. That's what I figure. If
Yeah.
I'm trolling and everything's dying,
He's
quick, I
just
don't know how
angry
much
because
power
I purposely let him die once or twice just to see some reactions.
All right.
Yeah, you're
do
like,
that.
all right.
I
I'm
let
kidding.
people die.
Glenn's probably like, what the hell are these guys talking about? What have I got myself into with these idiots?
Nah, it's more like I just don't really got much to say because I'm not part of that group.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, man.
Now you're gonna have to get a PlayStation.
You need more tales from the PC.
Tales.
Everybody's
from the
probably
PC.
nice on the PC though.
I
There's
hear
really
the
not
PC
much
has
to talk
less
about.
mics than the PS3.
That's what?
I heard the PC has even less people with mics than the PS3.
Oh yeah, like I did a freaking. I was doing a league run, or not a league run, League of
Pug?
Assassins rather, just because I was doing my dailies, and I was running it, and someone talked, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like, I was
Thought
like, "It's
someone
the
was in the
first time
room,
I've heard
Interaction.
talking forever."
See, that's kind of weird. I mean, is it like that on the PC? I mean, I know I play an MMO on the PC, and the big drawback is the lack of communication because I hate typing while I'm playing. I can't stand typing while I'm playing.
Yeah,
You
can't get a keyboard up on the PlayStation 3.
Yeah. Now I'm talking about a PC MMO. I really hate it on the PlayStation 3. So, I mean, is it like that though? That you like your league doesn't have like a what do they call it? Raid call or something like that?
Yeah, we got Vent.
Ventrilo? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'd have to have that if I played on the PC because I there's got to be some communication.
Well, it's just everyone kind of knows what to do, so there's really no point in being like, yeah. It's just a different kind of staple when you go PC and PS3,
Yeah.
Wait a minute, did you just say what I thought you said?
Who?
You play on PC and everyone knows what to do? Oh, you should try PS3 sometimes. Just a bunch of guys running around in circles.
No, what I meant to say kind of... I think what I meant to say was that everybody kind of has like a similar understanding of what to do. We don't really need to like talk to each other like, oh, kill that.
Right.
You need
play
to
PS3
one with Shockula sometime.
Oh no, there's some bad pugs on
Really
PC.
do.
Don't get me wrong, but like not many people are gonna want to talk on a mic. Not on PC at least. Not unless you're in the league.
I don't know why. I like to chat it up with random
You need to. Yeah, without you last night, nobody said a word during that raid.
No, everyone was all quiet.
Like, nobody's talking.
What a bunch of losers.
Yeah, and I was like, Crappy's not here. Usually he's the one talking all the time.
I say stupid shit and people laugh, Then other people get my stupidness rubs off on them.
Yeah, we got to get you on the PS3, Glenn. We got to get you on the PS3, man. Even if you're premium. Man. Come over.
Milwaukee and Gates right after Brainiac shit.
I'll help level you up. I don't have a problem.
I'll play any other PS3 games with you guys.
Oh, man. Oh, well.
Just be a troll, then you won't have to...
You heard it here, man. We gave him a chance, but... Oh.
One of these days, I'll probably have to check it out.
That's cool.
Well, wait. What do you mean make him a troll? Then Rock will yell at him.
Oh, I know how to play a controller. I was mental for a while.
Yeah, but Rock, from what I hear, is pretty harsh.
Oh, he is.
One second where he's got a sliver of blue bar not filled.
Yeah, Rock's definitely an elitist.
If you don't got 1200 bit, he ain't running with you. He don't care if you're doing fucking Owen. He ain't running with you unless you got 1200 byte.
Yeah, when I'm healing and Rock's in the group, I'm like popping AUX colas, making sure my resto's up there, 2400.
No, he don't care about the heals. He just gets mad at the trolls. Rock dies all the time when I heal because he's always trying to get everywhere so fast because he's a DPS. He's like, oh, I need a DPS. I'll DPS everyone. So he's 3 rooms in front of you.
Yeah, he's really competitive, man. I can tell he's really competitive. He's always out in front of the tank or whatever.
He'll run all around the corner, 2 rooms up. He'll be like, "Kill Crappy, I just died." I'll be like, "Hey, dude, 2 rooms back."
Yeah, I ran with him with Shockula, and he was way ahead. And I think you and I were picking up the scraps, DPS, and
always does it. All the DPSs always out running out in front of you and stuff.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Just chill. Wait for the tank to go in.
All right. Well, I think we might want to wrap it up there. I think we've given a lot of good information, or you guys did. I just kind of took it all in. I'm still never going to be a controller.
Best role in the game.
Hey, if you want to be a controller, just remember, you're always going to be invited to a raid.
That's true.
Yeah, trollers are in demand.
That's why I started trolling on my other guy. I was like, I could get in any raid. Because like back then when I first started playing, I didn't have a league, so I would it'd be so much easier to get into a raid as a troll. I'd be like, controller here. And you get right in. You shout, you're in something 2 seconds later.
You get to pick and choose. Pretty much.
Still, it doesn't sound like a role I'd ever want to play. I just stick to healing and DPS. I go back to tank before I did controlling, I think. I don't know.
I like DPS too, because you don't even have to have a brain. You just go in there and use powers on shit. You don't have to worry about healing nobody, nothing. Everybody else does everything for you. Just kill shit.
You don't have to have a brain,
No, you just go in there and mash buttons. Pew pew, and shit dies.
It's true.
Well, before we close it up, anyone have any last statements or anything they'd like to say?
I just want the trolls to give me power.
Well, I want to say something about our podcast. We're not. I got a comment. I got an interesting comment from a guy that he said he liked our show because we kind of tell it like it is. We're not like, just telling things that people want to hear, and
We're not sugarcoating it.
Thank God that guy doesn't play with me on the game.
Jeez. Yeah. And that's kind of what we're gonna do. We're not gonna pull any punches. We're really not gonna take any sides. If somebody makes some ridiculous statement out there, or somebody thinks that they're the main voice of the community, and there needs to be multiple voices of the community. So that's kind of what we're here for. So if anything we say, maybe it's taken out of context or something, we'll own up to it and everything like that. But we're definitely not here to make friends. We're going to call it like it is, and if it ruffles some feathers, oh well. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
Ruffles feathers, if it might push people the wrong way.
Oh well.
If it might bring about a name change.
Ah, yes, Kaiser.
Jesus.
We are officially taking credit
Here we go.
for getting Nutsack Jones's.
It's funny that the devs brushed
right
it
out
off. We say it on the podcast, and now his name is gone. Just saying.
Good point, Kaiser. I think we'll take credit for that.
Yeah.
Injustice never sleeps. Right?
It's gonna make people think twice about getting on like YouTube or something like that. Because I was running like a dungeon the other day, and I swear there was someone named like cunt or something like that, and it was like just spelled wrong, and I was like, how does that get through?
Well, I've had friends quit the game. I had a friend quit the game last month because they made him change his tune's name. So he quit the game. He sent me 480 million. Yeah, okay. And then he deleted his characters.
What was this dude's name?
Psycho Bitch, and it was spelled.
Oh yeah.
It was spelled B-Y. So I can see, but you can't let if you're going to come out and give him and do a name change on him. Well, he's not even on his. He put out a support ticket. The moral of the story is, if you have an offensive name, don't ever put a support ticket in. You're done. They'll change your name. It's happened to a couple of friends of mine. So
I would think the moral of the story is don't make an offensive name. I'm just saying if you're gonna actually try and like go around filters to have a bad name, it's gonna bite you in the ass eventually. Anyways,
come get you. Well, anyway, let's wrap it up there. Let's tell everyone where we can find you guys at. I have a YouTube channel. You can search Count Chocula. You can follow me on Twitter. Follow the Count. I'm kind of going to be the voice of the podcast on Twitter. And you can check us out on Facebook at the DCUO Project .com Facebook page. What about you guys?
I don't know who's going to go first, but I guess I'll go since I'm the co-host. So you can find me by searching Alpha Testin without a G. I just kind of have like DCUO videos out. Nothing too special yet.
Legend.
I have a Facebook on there. I think I have a Twitter link, and that's really about it for me.
And you got partnered recently, so that's a good thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Along with J-Man over there.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You can catch me on YouTube at XJman4X. I also got some DC Universe videos as well as some Let's Plays coming soon.
Some gankings.
And some ganking.
Those are my favorite. You gotta let me in on that.
Anytime.
And of
we
course,
know where the front door of that place is too. So yeah, we can tell you where that is too.
Yeah, you gotta let me in on that. That base is gonna be moved.
Yeah, just for saying that, he's moving tomorrow. You realize he's moving tomorrow.
That is great.
He will never watch this.
And of course, Crappy. You can find him on his YouTube channel, Crappy Heels.
Crappy Heels.
Crappy Heels. There you go. We got to get him partnered. That's next. What about you, Ninja?
I can't keep copywritten music off my page. Can't do that.
Can they find you, Ninja? Or you're kind of.
I'm kind of. I still haven't gotten a video up yet, but I'm working on getting some stuff together. But right now, I have a YouTube channel of You can find me as the user X Ninja Smurf X, which Smurf is spelled with a PH instead of an F.
And he's going to get some videos up soon. We'll get him partnered. And what about you, Kaiser?
Basically Kaiser 0777, all one word. I'm mainly putting the podcast up now until I get more recording equipment. Also, if anyone else has any questions about controlling or anything, I log on every couple of days, and I'd be happy to answer any questions and help you all out.
Yeah, that's true. And, if anyone has any comments toward the show, you can find us at the at www.thedcuoproject.podbean.com, and you can also email us at thedcuoproject@gmail.com. So, and we're going to have I think in the future, coming soon, we are going to do a live show. So hopefully we'll get some good feedback on that. So that's going to be down the road a little bit. So
and also for the live show, we're going to have Alpha Testing come in, and as soon as he's off the Brainiac ship, we're walking him in the gates.
Right in the gates.
Level 3.
Troll.
So be sure to watch out for that.
beautiful.
I'll be sure to put horrific Visage on my freaking loadout.
You won't
bar.
even have it open. Oh, and you're the primary troll. You're throwing pot.
That would be the best video ever.
So much
level
pressure.
3,
What
level
would the
4.
ticks be? 40 ticks? Glenn, we
He
need
won't
power.
even have it.
Hey,
You
You'll
can't
have
unlock
to go
control.
level 10, dude. You can't control till level 10.
he's DPSing.
Oh, Kaiser, only you'd think of that.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it makes for a good show.
Well,
Hey, if
thanks
we've offended anybody, good.
Nice.
that pretty much wraps it up. So, thanks, guys, for joining us, and we will talk to everyone later.
Peace.
Peace
Take it
out.
easy.
Take it easy.